Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on. I better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
I'm Captain Valerie Littlejohn with the Office of Media Relations. We want to update you on an officer-involved shooting that occurred on October 16th, 2022. It was just before 2:30 p.m. when officers were called to 1316 Southwest 25th Street in reference to a man threatening people with a knife. The armed man was trying to stab through a car window, which was occupied, and the people inside had locked the doors. Prior to the officers' arrival, and unbeknownst to them, the suspect had just stabbed a random person in the area. 3 officers arrived on scene together and confronted the armed suspect, who immediately began walking toward them. The officers gave verbal commands to drop the knife, which he refused and continued to approach the officers and citizens who were both outside and inside the vehicle. 2 officers tried to create distance as another officer went around to the side of the armed man between 2 vehicles to deploy his taser. The officer deployed his taser twice, which had no effect on the suspect.
Hey! Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
After the second taser deployment, the suspect aggressively turned with the knife and began to advance toward the officer with the taser while trying to rip away the taser wires. The 2 officers discharged their firearms when they saw the suspect aggressively turn and advance toward the other officer.
Hey, drop the knife. Hey, just back up. Get in your car. Get in your car and lock the doors. Drop the knife. Hey, drop the knife. Drop the knife.
Sergio, no.
Drop the knife.
No, Sergio.
Drop the knife.
Sergio, te van a tirar. No.
Hey, Sergio, no queremos lastimarte. Sergio, no te queremos lastimar. Get in your car. Get in your car. Taser. Taser again.
No, güey. Sergio, no.
Hey.
Tira la pinche navaja.
Tase him again. Get the knife. Hey, we're gonna get you some help, okay? Hey, get in your car. Get in your car and lock the door. Drop the knife. Hey, drop the knife.
Sergio.
Sergio, no. Drop the knife.
No, Sergio,
Drop the
no.
knife.
Sergio, te van a tirar. No.
Drop it, drop it. Sergio, no queremos lastimarte. Sergio, no te queremos lastimar.
Hey,
buddy. Get in your car.
No, Sergio.
Sergio.
No, güey. Sergio, no.
Get on the ground.
Pinche navaja.
Tase him again. Hey, we're gonna get you some help, okay?
Officers rendered aid to the suspect, and he was transported to an area hospital where he did not survive his injuries. The suspect was identified as Sergio Gruver. None of the officers were injured, and the stabbing victim was treated and released from an area hospital. The 2 officers who discharged their firearms were placed on routine administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. The investigation is still in the early stages and will take time to complete. Officers discharged their firearms.
Drop the knife!
The side of the armed man between 2 vehicles to deploy.
So they are responding to a call of a man trying to stab other people. And this is a type of call that I think dictates that you get a long gun out. This is a deadly force kind of scenario. And when you know that you're going into a deadly force scenario, you need to be bringing a rifle and bring your friends with rifles. One interesting thing that I noticed, see if I can find the view. I think it's from this guy. Yeah.
Sergio, no.
Drop the knife!
No, Sergio,
Drop the
no.
knife!
Sergio, te van a.
So this officer has a rifle mag on his duty belt. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of carrying rifle mags all the time. That just seems to be a lot of extra weight. But that's kind of pointless at this point. Like, you kind of dropped the ball on this whole thing. You had your uniform set up your kit set up to support a rifle, and you don't even get a fucking rifle out. So this is a failure, in my opinion. The fact that there are 2 pistols being used in a deadly force encounter. They knew they were going to a call where a guy was trying to kill people with a knife. They should have brought rifles out. Rifles are better than pistols. They dominate fights a lot better. The rifles are more accurate. They have a longer barrel. There are more points of contact on a rifle to stabilize it, to make it more accurate. Whereas a pistol, you have a very short barrel and you only have your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand holding the handgun for accuracy. It's not a lot there. The terminal ballistics are night and day. Rifle cartridges are just devastating. They are very good at incapacitating the threat. Now, of course, shot placement is important, so you got to put, proper shot placement. But you get good shot placement with rifle, it's going to stop the threat really fast. Pistols can obviously work, but rifle does it much better. So, as I said, they should have had rifles out. I like that they had sufficient numbers there. 3 of them roll up, so that helps things out, makes things a lot better. The first officer here with the taser, so he does have lethal cover, right? So these other officers are on the other side. They've got their guns drawn, so there is lethal cover when he comes up here.
Who were both outside and inside the vehicle. 2 officers tried to create distance as another officer went around to the side of the armed man between 2 vehicles to deploy his taser. The officer deployed his taser twice, which had no effect on the...
So he is wearing a jacket. Unfortunately, that baggy jacket most likely caused a clothing disconnect to where the first cartridge had no effect. Like, he doesn't even seem to register the fact that he's been hit with these probes.
suspect.
So no effect whatsoever. It's even possible that maybe both probes missed. I don't think that's the case, but the baggy jacket just didn't allow the probes to go through and touch skin. Now that second one,
Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
that one he felt. You could see him tense from it, but you still don't see the desired effect. You don't have NMI, neuromuscular incapacitation. He's still up, moving, and he turns and starts coming towards this officer. So I think that probably one probe was able to touch, and he felt that pain, but the second probe was not able to touch and create NMI.
After the second taser deployment, the suspect aggressively turned with the knife and began to advance toward the officer with the taser while trying to rip away the taser wires. The taser deployment,
Now at this point, he's done fired both cartridges out of the taser. The taser's pretty much ineffective at this point. He knew after that second firing that it's not working, and the dude turned and came towards him. So realistically, he should not even still be holding this taser at all. He needs to be putting it back in its holster or just dropping it to the ground and going to something else.
the suspect aggressively turned with the knife and began to advance toward the officer with the taser while trying to rip away the taser wires. The two officers discharged their firearms when they saw the suspect aggressively turn and advance toward the other officer.
Hey, drop the knife. Hey, just back up. Get in your car. Get in your car and lock the doors. Drop the knife. Hey, drop the knife. Drop the knife.
Sergio, no!
Drop the knife.
No, Sergio,
Drop the
no!
knife.
Sergio, no!
Hey, Sergio, no queremos lastimarte. Sergio, no te queremos lastimar. Get in your car. Get in your car.
No, Sergio!
Taser. Taser again.
No, güey! Sergio, no!
Hey.
¡Tira la pinche navaja!
Tase him again.
Sergio!
Tase him again. Tase him again. Hey, tase him again. Tase him again. Hey, tase him again. Get the knife. Hey, we're gonna get you some help, okay? Hey, get in your car. Get in your car and lock the door. Drop the knife. Hey, drop the knife.
Taser, no!
Drop the knife.
No, Sergio,
Drop the
no!
knife.
Sergio, te lastima, no!
Drop it.
Sergio,
No te quiero lastimarte, Sergio. No te quiero lastimar.
Hey, buddy.
Get in your car.
No, Sergio! Sergio! No way!
All right, so pay attention to this officer right here.
Hey, buddy.
Get in your car.
No, Sergio! Sergio! No way!
He came very close to losing it right there and falling. So this is one of the dangers of walking backwards. You can't see where the fuck you're going, and you can run into things and fall over. So there is a technique that could be used to walk backwards more safely, and it's kind of a more tedious process. It's slow, but it ensures that you're not going to trip over stuff and fall. It's basically kind of more methodically dragging that foot back, planting it, dragging your other foot back, planting it, dragging the other one back. And as you're dragging, you do it slower so that if you come across a barrier, you're going to hit it with that foot as you're dragging it back, and you'll know that, hey, you can't go any further. There's something there. If you try to back up any quicker, you're gonna trip and fall. So it's still moving backwards without looking, but it's a more slower process where you're basically just dragging your feet across the ground and doing it slower so that when you come into contact with the barrier, boom, you know there's something there. Versus trying to quickly walk backwards.
Buddy?
No! Get in your car.
No, Sergio! Sergio! No way! Sergio, no!
Get on the ground.
Pinche navaja!
Tase him again. Tase him again.
Pinche navaja!
Tase him again.
Navaja!
Tase him again. Hey, we're gonna get you some help, okay?
Officers rendered aid to the suspect and
All right, so he pulls his radio out to talk on it. I don't think that portable radios should be operated in a way where you have to take it off your belt and talk into it. I think that's the dumbest fucking thing ever, especially for this kind of profession where you need your hands to deal with people. Lapel mics, in my opinion, are the better thing to have. The shoulder
We're gonna
mics.
get you some help, okay?
officers rendered
What those allow you to
aid to
do
the suspect.
is talk hands-free. Well, not completely hands-free, but you don't have to occupy your hand with an entire radio. That radio can remain on your side, or as you can see right here, for this guy, his radio is in a pouch, but you can see that he has a lapel mic cord attached to it, and it runs up to somewhere up in here. You can keep that radio in a pouch, reach up, press the microphone, talk into it, and then let go if you need to go hands-on with something. That allows you to retain the radio so that you don't drop it, or you quickly try to put it back in a pouch and then it falls out of the pouch. If you're operating with the radio in your hand, then that means that one hand is occupied. And if something quickly, rapidly happens, and you got to pull your gun, well, you're going to have a radio in one hand and a gun in the other. You're going to be shooting one-handed. That's not very effective. and you may have to decide to try and quickly put that radio back down into its pouch, or you may have to decide to drop the radio, both of which can increase your odds of losing the radio, especially if you just throw it back down in the pouch and you don't take the time to re-engage some type of retention strap or snap or something like that that keeps it in its pouch. You don't want to lose your primary means of communication. That would suck. So shoulder mics, in my opinion, are necessary. They're a life-saving piece of equipment that need to be used for this form of public safety.
And he was transported to an area hospital where he did not survive his injuries. The suspect was identified as Sergio Gruver. None of the officers were injured, and the stabbing victim suspect was identified as Sergio Gruver.
I was trying to see where this cord goes to. It looks like it might just be an earpiece that he's plugged into this mic jack right here, and it's going up to his ear. And if that's the case, then he might just be reaching up to this pouch and pressing the button through the pouch to make it activate, or reaching up and there could be a button right here on this jack that he can press to talk. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a push to talk anywhere right on here on the vest. So
none of the officers were in.
Kind of an interesting setup. Not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.